worry about a presentation. We've been at the convention all weekend, so our table has most of the information that we'd have provided in that sort of thing. So I guess we'll just open it straight to questions.
Okay, are there any questions? Members wish to rise. Dr. Lurie.
Yes, when will hotel reservations begin to be accepted?
When will hotel reservations begin to be accepted?
We'll be opening up the hotel reservations website at the same time as PR2 goes out with the paper information on that as well, so that they're simultaneous, and that'll be towards the end of the year. Deadline for the final PR is, I believe, just before Christmas, so we'll probably look at New Year's Eve or something similar.
Any other questions? Yes,
Mr.
Delanek. Okay. My apologies.
I have a question. How good is public transportation in Melbourne?
How good is public transportation in Melbourne?
Speaking with a little bit of a vested interest, Melbourne's public transport's, I believe anyway, arguably one of the best in the world. The tram system runs throughout the entire central business district. There are free circle trams that run around the outskirts of that CBD, including a stop just near the convention centre's footbridge. So basically you can pretty much get around the entire downtown area free of charge. Public transport runs until 1 o'clock in the morning. And generally you can even get to most of the outskirts of the city without too much difficulty.
I came from California, moved to Melbourne, and still don't have a car 3.5 years later.
Any further questions? Recognize Ms. Bemis first.
Thank you. How accessible is the transit? A lot of places have steps. I noticed that the public thing here, there was a lot of steps between things, so I couldn't go on the scooter.
How accessible is the public transit system?
The inner city tram network was converted over a while ago to low-floored trams and tram stops with handicapped access. So for all of the downtown area, the circle tram and everything else like that, they're all completely scooter and handicap accessible. The thing I'd like to add too is that the convention centre is brand new and
So
has some
of
the best disabled access we've seen at a Worldcon site. So basically, I don't think anyone's likely to have too much difficulty there.
Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Morgan.
Would Mr. Boucher please confirm for the benefit of members that slaughtering of Englishmen will be confined to the cricket field and not spill over into the
Do you want me to repeat that? Will the slaughtering of Englishmen be confined to the cricket pitch?
We feel that the ritual humiliation of the cricket pitch is sufficient.
Mr. Stidman.
What are the hotel room rates?
Quiet, please.
And if you can give an approximation in US dollars.
What are the hotel rates, and can you give an approximation in US dollars? You should probably review the tax differences between North American and Australian practice as well.
Sure. We've got a range of hotel rates that they range from basically
the sound tech has asked if you could lean over just a little bit there.
Okay. They range in price from the low hundreds through to the low 200s. There is no tax associated with that. The price that we quote you is the price that you pay. Largely it's going to depend on exactly what type of room you're looking for and where you're planning on staying. Final rates for those will are being done probably in about 3 weeks' time. They set their final hotel rates 12 months out.
And the exchange rate?
The exchange rate at the moment is 83 cents. US will buy you an Australian dollar. So
83 US cents buys 1 Australian dollar.
Euros?
Mr. Matthews.
What will the weather be like at that time of the year?
What would you expect the weather to be like? Which is a different question.
It depends on your definition of cold. I mean, this weekend's weather was, for those of you who speak Fahrenheit, 61 degrees was the high, with an overnight low of 51 or 52. So it varies. Obviously, the 4 weeks extra that we have till our convention time of year gives us an advantage there. The more we push into spring, obviously, the warmer it gets.
In Celsius?
Mr. Kowalczyk.
I'm sorry, could you please answer the question that most people want to know about hotel rates, which is what would the single double rate be at the main convention hotel?
The single double rate at the main convention hotel.
I.e. the Hilton, I believe.
That's right. At the moment, the current rate that I'm being given is about $230 a night Australian.
$230 Australian.
So it's equivalent to the rates here, but once again, as I said, with no tax.
Any other questions? Yes. Mr. Nelson.
Can you let us know what arrangements are being made for parties?
What sort of arrangements are being made for parties and other hospitality-related events?
We're currently looking for final proposals from both the Hilton and the Crown Plaza, which is the former Centra that we used last time around. It's pretty much down to whoever gives us the best waiver on corkage and forkage. So they're from a distance from the convention centre, it's pretty well equivalent.
Questions? Yes.
During what time period will the convention rates apply?
During what time period, presumably before and after the dates of the convention, will the convention hotel rates apply?
We can pretty much do shoulder rates on that out to about a week out. It varies wildly depending on which hotel it is, but the Hilton, given the number of rooms we have and the relationship we have with them at the moment, should be able to go at least a week either side.
Any other questions? Yes, Ms. Morrison.
Did you know yet of any tours being organized, and will you have links on your website?
Are there any tours being organized, and do you plan to put links on your website if such are organized?
There are tours being arranged. There's actually flyers for some on the table at the moment, but links to those, as we're not sponsoring anything officially, but links to those will all be put up on our website as people advise us of them.
You're not anticipating officially organizing anything?
Correct.
That's what I wanted to. Yes.
I just wanted to
Ms.
put
Gill.
on the record that we only wish that the rate stayed at 83 cents per the U.S. dollar. In fact, that's a very high rate. Usually, for people doing math in their heads about the hotel rooms, the rate is usually more around 72 to 75. So this is great for us now, but don't assume that that's necessarily going to be the exchange rate when you come next year.
To clarify that, it's mostly been an advantage of the fact that the US economy is sucking to an astonishing degree at the moment. And I think all of you would probably hope that that doesn't remain a constant.
Yeah.
Anyone? Mr. Francis? I would ask members who can do so to please rise if they wish to be recognized by the chair.
Can you describe any arrangements you've made with your airlines for discounts, and which airlines are you talking to?
Are there any airline deals in preparation or planned?
At the moment, honestly, we haven't done so simply because all of the group rates that are being quoted are dramatically higher than the rates you can get off the street. There's currently a massive fare war running. 2 additional airlines have started flying Trans-Pacific in the last 6 months. So basically at the moment we're seeing rates of about $640 return from the West Coast and sub $1,000 from the East Coast. So essentially anything we can do as a group rate is going to be set higher than that. You're better off basically as you see prices snapping them up, because they'll be dramatically better than anything we can organise on a group rate.
Any other questions? Ms. Morgan.
I understand there will be a convention the previous weekend in Wellington, New Zealand, the home of Weather Workshop. Are you working with those people at all?
Ms. Morgan says there will be a convention in New Zealand the previous weekend, are you arranging anything with them? That's the New Zealand NatCon, is it not?
I guess.
Correct.
Yeah.
They've moved their dates, being not dumb people. They've moved their dates to be the weekend before Aussiecon, so we're cooperating with them on information, distributing information to our members, so doing those sorts of deals. But they're working fairly closely with us to make sure that they provide as much ease of joining for you folk as possible for anybody that's looking to do a New Zealand tour at the same time.
Any other questions? All right, thank you very much, and some of us will see you next year in Australia.